Welcome to episode number 17 of New Jersey Living, the podcast. And I am very excited about this particular episode, as should you be as well. We have our first New Jersey celebrity. I'm going to put that out there that you're going to be able to hear some firsthand experiences, background, and what he is doing, what he has done. So stay tuned to get the nice and juicy details coming your way. All right. So I've been promising you all for some time that we're going to take a deeper dive into the dining scene, and this is exactly part of that. So stay tuned. Let's get it started now. Welcome to New Jersey Living, the podcast, where we explore all things New Jersey real estate. I'm your host, Corey Jones, a real estate agent with Coldwell Banker and team leader of the New Jersey Living Group. We're a team of experienced agents who specialize in residential sales in several counties ranging from Bergen County in northern New Jersey to Ocean County down the shore. On this podcast, we will talk to real estate experts, local business owners, community leaders, and town officials to get the inside scoop various towns in New Jersey. We'll discuss everything from the latest market trends to featured local attractions with dining, recreation, and entertainment. Whether you're a current resident, a prospective buyer, or just curious about New Jersey real estate, we have something for you. So sit back, relax, and join us for a conversation about all things New Jersey living. All right, so welcome again to New Jersey Living. As I said in the intro, we have our first real celebrity guest here on the show, and I am very honored and pleased to introduce Mr. Casey Webb. Thank you for joining us today.
Corey Jones, thank you, sir. Nice and juicy. We're getting juicy.
All right. Hey, look, it fits the theme of what we're talking about today when we're talking juices, man. My wife is more the food connoisseur, right? My wife is kind of dragged me in and really trained my palate, if you will, to be a bit more sophisticated. Yes,
it's a beautiful thing, and it's gonna make for a long, beautiful marriage.
Indeed, it'll be 26 years this summer, right? So
amazing! It already has been a long.
It has been a.
I guess you've been listening.
Yeah, indeed, good. That's a part of it, right? So
happy wife, happy life.
That's how it generally works, and that's the honest truth. Absolutely. She has been someone who's always been into a variety of different foods and cuisines, and I have kind of followed suit through that 26 years of marriage that we've been together.
Congratulations.
Thank you. So shows like yours, Man versus Food, we're going to dive into that in just a little bit, but I want to get a little bit, because you are a Jersey guy, right? So some people who watch the show may not know, but you're a Jersey guy, so I wanted to first hear a little bit about your Jersey roots and, kind of where you kind of grew up in New Jersey, because you're born and raised, right? You are a New Jersey product. So I want to hear a little bit about that New Jersey roots, and then we're going to dive into, more recent events.
It's funny. I never thought I was a product until I started actually getting on television. So
got it.
I'm definitely a New Jersey product and byproduct of being in New Jersey.
Yeah.
Corey, I grew up in Monmouth County, which is basically the Jersey Shore. It's kind of where it all begins. From Keyport to Cape May, it's hundreds of miles of beach. So I grew up going to the beach as a kid. Born in Red Bank, raised in Little Silver. Cut my teeth in the restaurant business, washing dishes. I think Chef David Burke did the same, as I know. David's a friend, and that's what brings me here to your door.
Yeah.
I've led a long life in the restaurant business, a long and prosperous life, but I'm also an actor, so that's what led me to doing Man versus Food while working in restaurants in New York City from that age of 14, washing dishes, auditioning for all kinds of stuff. I've been fortunate enough to do a lot of voiceover work, commercials, on camera, TV shows, scripted, obviously unscripted with Man versus Food and Reality Lifestyle. So, and Jersey's always been good to me. I did leave a few times because I had to go to the Big Apple.
Okay.
Take a bite out of that Big Apple and lived there for many years. But I'm back in Jersey, and it's been, it never left. Once I think you lean into Jersey, it always leans into you. There's a lot of love here. My family I was born and raised, as I mentioned, and yeah, just being at the shore. I mean, we have this. It's called the Garden State for a reason.
Yeah.
We're very blessed with tons of produce, a lot of farming, a lot of agriculture, a lot of fresh seafood, and ever since I've come back, I've been tapping into all that, local restaurants, and keeping busy. David Burke's been a good friend, and keeping busy with him with different events, which is really exciting. Which I'm happy to talk about now. We have Beat Burke coming up, which is at the Goat. Uh, that's a restaurant. Chef David Burke's the Goat, which is in Union Beach. We're doing 3 different weekends so far. The first weekend is coming up on March 10th,
Okay.
which is going to be past when this airs, but that's
Yes.
okay. So yeah, Chef Lauren Lewin. She's going to be competing against David Burke, basically in your classic showdown. So chef against chef, mystery basket of items, and which is, it's like what you see on TV, but we're bringing it to the actual restaurant, live audience, 60 patrons having several courses while watching all that action, which
Nice.
is just really a lot of fun. David's such a fun and entertaining guy. I mean, he's made for TV, but he's also an incredible chef and just very innovative, and I learned a ton. And he asked me if I wanted to jump in, so I'll be doing the same on the 24th of March at the same place at the Goat, which is in Union Beach. And then we have our third competitor. That first competitor is March 10th, and that's Lauren Van Loo is her name. And then the third competitor is Alexandra Donadio. So all these chefs have competed in some capacity before. So this is
Okay.
just another competition. They're cutting their teeth with Chef David Burke, which is great. So
And you're
we're
part of
looking
that
forward to that.
competition, right?
I am. So March 24th. Get your tickets now for Beat Burke, which is really fun. I've had a lot of doing Man versus Food. I was pulled into the Food Network and Cooking Channel family. We started off with Man versus Food on Travel Channel, but that we jumped around a little bit. It's all under the same umbrella, same network. But pulled into that family of shows, so I've been able to be a guest host on Beat Bobby Flay several times, and I see how all that kind of stuff works. And now I get to get my get my hands dirty and compete with David, against David.
And
And
your
quite
day is the
honestly,
24th. Is that right? When you're
yeah,
competing?
March 24th.
Okay.
March 24th at the Goat in Union Beach. It is a ticketed item, so there's
Right.
only so many spots to fill. I know that's selling pretty quickly. I know we've sold out in the first weekend,
Okay.
which is exciting. And we just appreciate David involving New Jersey residents, New Jersey chefs, and just always going out for a good time. He's all about having a good time and presenting really beautiful, fun, engaging, interactive foods. So yeah, we have 3 weekends of that. I'm sure there'll be more because there's more people going to want to try to beat Burke.
I'm
I know
sure.
I'm going to try. He's such a pro, and but we're 2 Jersey guys competing against each other. It's going to be a fun night. Looking forward to it.
So, Casey, with your background, you have both acting and you have food, right? So I'm going to ask, like, which probably came first and which would you describe as, like, your
Well,
core passion, if you will? Like, how does this all meld together?
I've been acting out from a young age, Corey.
Okay.
So that led to acting. I've been eating whole food since I stopped breastfeeding
Yes.
as a kid. So my path is a little different because I started washing dishes, and that led me to working in the restaurant world.
Okay.
Culinary came later. I did some vocational culinary in a private school that I had to go to because I got released from my public school.
Okay.
I was a little bit of a troublemaker, Corey.
Okay.
It happens. A little wild child at
Got it.
times. But what was interesting about that particular school, like they had these really beautiful programs, and one of them was culinary, and that's where I really cut my teeth and learned how not to cut myself and or burn myself with knife skills. And so that was at a young age, not too many years after I started washing dishes. I stayed in the back of the house for a long time. I learned from other chefs in the kitchen. I never went to conventional culinary school.
Okay.
I did move to the front of the house too. So I wound up essentially over time, since I was 14, I've worked in every area of the restaurant business. And so, because I have a world's view of the restaurant world. So it's going to be a tough competition with Chef David Burke because he's got a lot more time.
Yeah.
He's not that much older than me, but he has a lot more experience. So I'm excited to get in there and just try to prove myself. At least see how long I can hang. Quite honestly.
So on the acting side of it, where did that window open for you? Where did you have that opportunity to step into that?
So yeah, it's funny. I played sports in high school, and then I went and played football in college. And my three closest friends were pursued acting late in life, like at 18, right out of high school. And I wound up I put my helmet down and I stopped playing in college. It just wasn't for me anymore. I was done using my noggin, to knock people over, and I was like, I need to do something else. And I quite literally auditioned for something, having no experience, and I failed miserably at the audition. And it was at a college level audition, and then that's when I knew, like, I want to do this for the rest of my life, because it was a challenge, very much like sports were when I was younger. So there were definitely some ebbs and flows to that throughout my life. I tried every other job. I was always working in restaurants, but I just kind of kept going back to it. There was that, when you get quiet, Corey, when you get real quiet, there's a little voice inside. Some people say it's the angels, some say it's God, some say it's the child inside. It's like your gut or your heart.
Mm-hmm.
I say my gut and my heart are, communicating. That little kid inside kept calling me back to it. So, I left the business, the acting world, many times. And then I finally went back to it, about 8 or 9 years ago, and I just hit it hard. All I was doing was auditioning, and I just happened to audition for a food show that happened to be the sleepy and off the air for 5 years, soon to be rebooted Man vs. Food.
Right.
Which since 2017, we've done 6 seasons, 90 episodes, traveled the entire country, and we're looking at some more, God willing, coming up.
Yeah. Well, I can say that, just in my household, Man vs. Food was a regular, right? Always has been a regular. And then so when your face came up, it's like, oh, we got a new guy. But now it's like Jersey's representing now, right? So that's a definite plus right there. So I
got a lot of people behind me. I got the whole state of New Jersey.
Yeah, indeed, absolutely. Now tell me,
the state is split in half, right? There's people that call it pork roll. There's people that call it Taylor ham, and there's also Giants and Jets fans, and then there's also Philly fans. Yeah. So I might not have the whole state of New Jersey on my side, but I'm going to die trying.
Hey, it's worth the effort. It's worth a lot of that was a learning experience for me moving in, because again, I'm a transplant from Virginia, come here in '99. Now I'm a Steelers fan, so I don't pull for either Jets or Giants or Eagles, right? So it's kind of finding your place. And yeah, pork roll, Taylor ham. Like, what is this all about? I had to learn this.
That's a whole thing. It's a whole, and I love that you say the Steelers, because my childhood friend growing up, his family, they happened to have the biggest TV, and because they loved football, and the whole family were Steelers fans.
Okay.
Where everyone else around them was Giants fans, and I got to watch a lot of the Steelers, which was just really exciting. I went to see a game not that long ago at the stadium for the first time this past year, so that was really exciting to be there.
Acrisure?
Fan. Oh yeah, I'm a huge fan of Pittsburgh. We filmed in Pittsburgh once. I've been back several times. I just love the city. It's 3 major sports teams. It's all very close. Tons of food history, tons of actual history, a lot of Americana going on there. It's a really, really fun town.
I'm gonna have to get some recommendation from you, because I normally have been making an annual trek there. So I attended a game this past year as well, right? So
which game was it?
I attended the Monday night game where Cleveland came to town, right? Okay.
Very good.
So I was there for that one. Yeah.
It's fun, right?
It is. So I'm gonna have to get a few restaurant tips or recommendation. Now here in Jersey, absolutely. I know you've done Jersey for some episodes, right? So what are and I asked 2 questions. Like, what is that New Jersey location that was memorable for whatever reason, right? And what is some standout for you that was kind of this one I will always remember, because I know you've been all over the country, but just want to get Jersey first.
It was what was exciting to film in Jersey, because we did a Jersey Shore episode, though not the whole episode was filmed in the Shore area. So as a kid, if you're familiar with Monmouth County, there is a town which I'm not too far from. It's called Highlands, and Highlands, there's this giant bridge that goes over to where the actual beaches
Yeah.
begin in New Jersey, the actual ocean beaches. There's a bunch of bay beaches,
Right.
but then the Jersey Shore begins at Sandy Hook and goes all the way down to
Right.
Cape May. And there was a restaurant there. It's been there for 100 and something years. It's called Bars, and we got to film there. So they really wanted to bring me home to my hometown. And as a kid, my mom was from New York City originally, from Hell's Kitchen. My dad was from the Bronx, and my mom was afraid of the ocean, but she wasn't afraid of the bay. So we would swim at this little rinky-dink beach underneath the bridge.
Okay.
So we're bridge dwellers. Not that that's a bad thing. And we were swimming at this beach, but there is a restaurant adjacent to it called Bars, and it's classic seafood, and it sits right on the water. You watch the boats go by. It has all the nautical things you love, and so we got to film an episode there. It was me, my dad, my brother. My dad since passed, but my dad, my nephew, and my brother. We got to do this like big meal, lobster, and sit at one of these giant commander tables. These admiral tables.
Yeah.
Big wooden table, and have this lobster meal and talk about, my experiences at the shore, which is really exciting for me because it really brought me home. Because I've been pretty most places in the United States as a result of doing the show. So for
Right.
me, it's always coming home as standout. I mean, there's so much great, because we also did Hoboken, which is, love that town. Spent a lot of time there as a young person.
Yeah.
There's a lot of great food everywhere, is what I found out while traveling. The cool thing about doing the show, I know I'm segueing a little bit, or I'm just sidelining a little bit here, but the cool thing about doing the show for me, there's a lot of things, but one of them was going to the places that made the thing. Like I got to go to St. Louis and have a barbecue. I got to go to the Carolinas to have barbecue. I got to go to, Texas and have their barbecue. So
How
I had
about
all
Kansas
these
City?
things. Kansas City, yeah, totally amazing. So Kansas City, love that town.
Okay.
It reminds me of Pittsburgh in a lot of ways. You have major sports teams, smaller town, lots of history. So that stands out for me. Is like there is great food everywhere, and I'm thankful I'm not a food critic, because I would that would be the last job I want. I'm so immersed in the food space because of what I do is professionally doing Man versus Food. But the last thing I would ever want to do is be a food critic. You could save it. There's so much great food. The beauty about Man versus Food is, and like shows like that, even like Diners and Drives, guy gets to elevate.
You get to celebrate. Absolutely.
Celebrate and elevate. That's all I want to do in life. You make people laugh, celebrate and elevate. You can take your judgments and the best pizza this, Jersey and New York. You know what the best pizza is? The next one I'm going to have. The best burger is the next one I'm going to have.
I like that.
That's how I feel.
I like
that
that
with me to the grave. Because you know what? I'm going to be on the West Coast, and I'm going to want a burger, and I'm going to try to find the best burger there.
Yes.
So,
yes.
So
absolutely. And so it's interesting that you mentioned in some of these, the location that you first mentioned. We record in Mattawan. So where I am right now, studio is in Mattawan. So I'm probably no more than half hour away, right? And of course, we've been from Cape May all the way up to Sandy Hook. My family has been a number of beach excursions because everybody in the state is going to the beach at some point in time, right?
Sure.
So absolutely. I definitely can appreciate just the sights. I'm just imagining some of the things that we've seen as you describe that experience, for sure.
And especially growing up here, I haven't been as many places as I've been. The Jersey keeps bringing me back. There's something about it, just being from here and knowing what it's about to be here. Quality of life. We have a lot of nature. We have a lot of access to New York City, to Philly, to via train, via boat. I got the airport real close. I got Atlantic City. I could go gamble if I wanted to. I have all this beautiful farmland. Horse farms, and it's just like there's such a mix. And then you have, then there's industry. We have a ton of industry here too,
right.
Which is really important, to process agriculturally. So there's so many pluses to being here, and we have access to one of the greatest cities in the world. Just an hour away or 30 minutes away, depending on where you're at, but. I'm a proud New Jersey guy. It just always have been. And
well, you were speaking my wife's language because when she's asked, why are we still? Because we have no immediate family here in New Jersey. It's just us, right? But we're kind of entrenched because my son's a student at Seton Hall. My daughter
it's nice and cozy, right?
Is, yeah,
nice and cozy. Just you and the family.
Absolutely. And like you mentioned, you are outside of New York City. The beach is no more than an hour away. You can get to the mountains and the Poconos if you want. You can get out into farmland if you want. restaurant. You have produce here, seafood here. You have every food in the world, right? Is going to be somewhere in New Jersey, right? Because we just have that diversity.
Camping,
Absolutely.
hiking, farming, fishing, ocean sports,
Yes.
It's just there's no end to it. There's 1 million acres in the Pine Barrens. It's the second biggest aquifer to that of the Everglades in Florida. So we have this beautiful water system where there's tons of animals, and so there's just like it's never ending when you start doing a deep dive. And the cool thing, like in the summers. 100 years ago, people from Philly, major cities, Philly and New York City, they would come to the Jersey Shore for respite. They would bring their chefs from their hotels, affluent folks, and they would be the first celebrity chefs cooking for folks at the beach. So there's a lot of history here, and
I just had an episode, by the way.
To everything else,
Absolutely, because I was about to say I just had an episode. This was my YouTube episode, so although we do broadcast the podcast on YouTube as well, it's more for the audio platform. But my Asbury Park episode, which absolutely blew up, right? So Asbury Park is one of those historical locations where New York City and anywhere along the coast, they were coming to Asbury. We turned the clock back 100 years, right? Asbury was it, and now it's like a resurgence there that's happening now.
And that's been happening for years. I was there actually last night. I was one of the co-judges. My friend Lawrence Scala and I and a couple other judges were judging the Girl Scouts of the Jersey Shore top cookie competition, which is 5 local restaurants competing to make a dessert that replicates a Girl Scout cookie. So we did that just last night. So I'm riding on the fumes of that. If you're wondering why I have so much energy, that was really exciting. It was probably all the sugar from all those delicious desserts. And we featured 5 restaurants that are in New Jersey, which is great. So it's like
wonderful.
The more of that stuff, Corey, I do, the happier I am, quite honestly, because again, we're celebrating, elevating people. And I do want to mention, I don't know how much time we have, but we're doing Beat Burke 3 weekends. We're doing March 10th, March 24th, and then the last weekend is April 7th. So April 7th is Alexandra Donadio, so she's a chef.
Oh yeah, from I'm gonna be. Was she on Chopped or one of the
Fox Next Level Chef?
Next Level Chef. Okay.
Gordon Ramsay.
Yep.
Yeah. I think she might have done some other stuff since then too.
Okay.
But I just got introduced to her via social media, which is I love the fact that we can do that. We can get to know each other really quick. We're both in similar professions, and because we're both going to be competing against Chef David Burke and Beat Burke. So then I'm there the 24th, which is March 24th, and then the first one is March 10th, which is this Sunday, which is Chef Lauren Liu. She was on Chopped. She was a champion actually on Chopped, which is exciting.
Right.
And then in addition to that, Chef David Burke, I keep saying Chef David Burke, Chef Scott, we know David has brought a lot of life to restaurants recently. He's some of these restaurants needed a little bit of boost, and David's put his stamp on it to kind of resuscitate them, and which is really exciting, be it Dixie Lee Bakery, be it his old stomping grounds, which used to be Fromagerie, which is Red Horse in Rumston. There's another Red Horse in Bernardsville, which is the Bernard's Inn, and they're going to be doing in the next month, which I'm excited to do. It's dinner after dark, or it's actually in the dark, which I got to experience, which is Chef David Burke does blindfolded tasting menu, several courses. He hosts it, and you're completely in the dark. There's wine pairing to his really fun, and David's so fun there's so much fun stuff with food, and it's really a good time. So they're going to be doing that as well. So that's happening at Red Horse in Bernardsville at the Bernard Inn. So,
but the other 3 are all same location.
Yes. So the Goat in Union Beach, New Jersey. That's Chef David Burke's The Goat restaurant, which is
and that's the 10th, 24th, and the April date. The
7th.
7th. All right, got it.
A lot of information, I know.
Okay, that's all right. That's all right.
Look to your local listings for all these events. But
indeed,
you can go to chefdavidburke.com and find out what you need.
Got it. Okay. All right. Well, Casey, we're going to start to wrap this one up. I can't express the amount of gratitude I have for you to take the time out just to again join this Jersey show, trying to promote New Jersey. Right. So that's what I'm all about, and I appreciate you joining the cause. Well, you've been in the cause. I want to say joining the cause, right?
I heeded the calling.
Yes.
I heard the call and I took the call.
Yes. Well, we want to thank you again. Obviously, Man versus Food. You look that up. Any of my followers, you should already know it anyway, right? But those who are New Jersey residents, if you don't already know, now you do. Casey Webb is a New Jersey product, byproduct, however you want to describe it, right? So
product of, byproduct.
Absolutely. I don't even have to do the how can we find you, Casey? Just Google him. You can find whatever you need to find on him. And thanks again. I'm hoping that somewhere in the near future we can attend one of these events on site. And that would be more of a YouTube episode than a podcast, obviously. But that's my hope now that we have, because we also have Restaurant Week coming up towards the end of April that I'm pretty sure I'm going to have some YouTube footage for at one of those events. But I'm hopeful that maybe we can do something YouTube-wise and just be on site coming up.
If you're, I'm going to lend the invitation to you right now.
Okay.
March 24th at the Goat in Union Beach, New Jersey.
I'll make it happen.
Come as my guest.
I'll make it happen. I'll make it happen. Absolutely.
Love to have you there.
All right.
I know David would love to have you too. So
absolutely.
Appreciate your time, Corey,
much appreciated.
We'll
yes.
See you next time.
Thank you. So for those who are tuning in, thank you for watching. Be sure to click like, subscribe, notification bell. We have a lot of fabulous content coming your way, just like what you saw today with Casey Webb of Man vs. Food. So stay tuned, stay safe, and we'll see you next week.